What is up, Bradford Bass family? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about my top 3 upgrades to do to the Bass Tracker Classic XL. But before we go any further, guys, if you enjoy this content, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, but most importantly, hit that notification bell. That way you get alerts every time we drop a new video. So without further ado though, guys, let's get into today's video. So my top 3 upgrades to do on the Bass Tracker Classic XL. Before we get into those top 3, there is one thing that I want to talk about that I feel like is just a must. And this is an onboard charger. For whatever reason, nobody really knows, but the tracker boat, at least particularly the Bass Tracker Classic XL, does not come with an onboard charger. I do not understand why, because they're not very expensive. You can get them for $100 to $120 for a 2-bank charger. But I feel like this is just something that is a must-have on your boat, and it should be probably the first thing you do to your boat is add this onboard charger. If you're wondering what an onboard charger is, essentially it's something that you mount inside of your boat. I mounted mine in the back compartment on my Bass Tracker Classic XL, and it connects to your batteries all the time, and then it has a cord on it that you can plug into an extension cord. That way when you get off the water, you plug your extension cord in it, and what this device does is it basically rejuvenates your batteries, recharges them, and it lets you know if you got a battery that's not working correctly or it's not charging correctly, etc. So the one thing that's a given in my opinion, guys, is the onboard charger. So now we've talked about that, let's get into the actual top 3 upgrades. The third thing, guys, is, and like I said, this is just my opinion, is the casting deck extension. Now I know there's other people out there that don't use a casting deck extension, and that's fine. But for me personally, I couldn't imagine not having a casting deck extension. The casting deck that comes with the boat is just, it's very small. And I could just see myself falling off of it. So the very first thing I actually did was put a casting deck extension in. Not only did I want more room up there to walk around and be able to fish, but I also wanted to have the extra storage. I put 2 storage compartments in mine. That way I can store plenty of tackle and I won't have no issue, because really the only storage on this boat is the back compartment. So that's kind of where you're relegated to have to put all your tackle, all your safety stuff, life jackets, throw cushions, ropes, bumpers, etc. There is a couple small compartments underneath the seats, but for the most part it's very limited. So the casting deck extension for me was something that was very crucial, and it was actually the first thing that I did. And you can do this in multiple price ranges. I spent about $350, but I did mine in all aluminum. I used all rivets. I painted it. I put 2 compartment hatches in mine. I got the matching carpet. You don't have to do all that. You can actually just do a cheaper one with some 2x4s and some old wood you got laying around the house, and you can just go get some cheap carpet from Lowe's and just slap it in there if you want. Whatever it is you choose to do, there's many ways you can do this at different price points. So that, guys, the casting deck extension is my third thing. Now getting into my second thing. The second thing is electronics. The electronics was actually the second thing that I did. The boat comes with a Hook 4X made by Lowrance, but to be honest with you, I never even used it. It's very bare minimum. It gives you your water temperature, gives you your depth, but that's about it. And I wouldn't trust it for anything more than that. Like I said, I never used mine. I actually just took it off the boat and sold it to a buddy for like 25 bucks. I think they retail for about $100 new. So it's just a bare bones basic fish finder. Now, I will admit, I didn't use my fish finders as much as I originally thought I would, but that's because I'm fishing lakes that I know pretty well already. Where the new fish finder and the better electronics will come in handy is when you're fishing new bodies of water. You want to get something that has some side imaging or some mapping, and that will allow you to get out there and help make the process quicker of finding fish on new bodies of water. Now then, in this price range can, it's whatever your budget is. Right now I'm currently running 2 Garmin 93 SVs, one at the console and one at the bow. Then for this season I also added a 73 SV at the console as well, so I'm going to use the 73 SV as to use for my mapping, and then I'll use a 93 at the console to do my side imaging, down imaging, etc. I got them interlinked together. The Garmin units are very nice. They're relatively they're expensive. I mean, they are expensive, but they're relatively inexpensive when it comes to some of the other brands, and they're very user friendly and they're very good quality. So the Garmin's are what I went with, but that's all going to come down to what's in your budget. Now, getting into the top thing, guys, is the trolling motor. And this is something I just recently did, and to be honest, if I could go back and do it all over again, the trolling motor is the first thing I would have upgraded. Now, with that being said, the Minn Kota Edge that comes with the Bass Tracker Classic XL is more than sufficient enough. You know, I ran that trolling motor for a whole season, and I never had really any issues. It did what it needed to do. But that being said, it has its limitations. And one thing about this boat, guys, is it's a very light boat. It's not a big boat. So when you get out in the wind, it can be very difficult, almost to the point where you can't even fish. So upgrading the trolling motor became more and more realistic to me as my first season in the boat went along. And after I got the new trolling motor, which I upgraded to a Minn Kota Tarova, it's just a 12 volt, it's a 55 pound thrust, but it has spot lock on it. And that spot lock really is a game changer. It allows you to go out there in the wind a little bit more. Not saying you're going to be out there in 30 mile per hour winds, but I have had it out there in 20, 25 mile per hour gust already, and it held right on the dime. Now, you might be eating up some trolling motor battery, but it really does change the way you fish. And I feel like it's a very crucial thing in this small boat. And not just for bass fishermen. You know, another reason I wanted the spot lock feature is because, you know, when I take my son out and we go bluegill fishing or crappie fishing or whatever, and we're just anchored, I don't want to have to mess with sitting there pulling anchor up and dropping an anchor and pulling it up and dropping it, etc. You know, I don't want to keep doing that. So having that spot lock feature where I can just pull up, hit a button, and it holds us in one place and we can fish. And it comes with the remote, the iPilot, and you can move it around, so you don't even have to be up at the bow itself. You know, mine has a foot pedal, but some people don't even get the foot pedal. You know, they control everything through the wireless remote, so you can control from anywhere in the boat, and it's absolutely a game changer, guys. I can't stress that enough. But like I said, it's not something that you have to have. It's more of a want, and it is pricey. You know, I paid $1,500 for mine, so it is a large investment. And if I could go back and do it again, I would have purchased the trolling motor before I purchased the new fish finders. So that's it for today's video, guys. Just wanted to give you my quick top 3. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope everybody stays safe out there, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.